All right, everyone, I'm doing something a little different today. I'm going to start having people that I've been connected with in the music industry and fellow musicians and stuff like that. Just interview them, talk road stories. And today I have an old friend of mine, Alan Affuso, a drummer that I actually met on the Slave to the Grind tour. He's Rob Affuso's brother. He's also a drummer himself. And you were the drum tech on the Slave to the Grind tour, right?
No, I was actually a stage tech, like a carpenter.
Oh, okay.
And I built all of that aluminum erector set that they ran around on like gerbils.
Nice, nice. So I met him on the Slave to the Grind tour. He was in a band in upstate New York at the time called Vibe Tribe. I was getting a band together called Psycho Circus. We got to talking on the tour, and he's like, "Hey, man, when you're back up in the upstate New York area, let's do some shows together." And, back then it was just talking. This was before cell phones.
Yep. Had to use landlines.
Landlines. He gave me his landline number. Months later, a month or two later, got our shit together, called him, and we did it. We did some shows. And now we're hooking up again, and I got him on to tell some road stories about that time because that was over 30 years ago.
God,
that's like rock and roll history.
Hope
now.
I can remember them all.
God. So
a lot of late nights, Taco Bell, and smoking weed.
Yeah. Well, that's how we met you, Chris Mooreshead.
Oh my God.
Mooreshead was there.
Mooreshead.
And my guitar player for Psycho Circus says, "Hey, let's go down the Skid Row." It was sold out. Golden Hall, San Diego, Slave to the Grind tour. For those of you that weren't around then, man, it was a magical time. Rock and roll was still alive and well. They brought an up-and-coming band named Pantera on the road with them. Rob Halford would come on stage and do some songs with Pantera. It was just a cool fucking time.
Man, that was good.
So he says, I know Chris Mooreshead because he met him at Fort Lauderdale. Everything goes full circle. And so we seen him setting up, and he says, "Hey, Mooreshead, what's up?" And Chris Mooreshead says, "Hey, can you score me some pot?"
No,
and we go, "Yeah, we can get you some weed, man." And then I met you. Remember?
That's back when it was illegal.
Yeah, it was illegal. We had to we had to fly under the radar to get it. And then you're on rollerblades.
Yeah.
Rollerblading around the Golden Hall.
Oh, shit.
And I thought that you were Rob, because you guys, I'm like, "Is that Rob Affuso?" And then my buddy Christian, he goes, "No, that's his brother. He must have known you from somewhere."
I was test driving.
Yeah, it had the rollerblades.
I stole somebody's blades.
Yeah.
Probably some chick, I don't know.
Yeah, and that was right on the tour. It was over by the tour bus, and it was cool. So anyway, Rob.
You know we do stupid shit on tour. Give me those, I can do that.
Yeah.
End up busting your ass.
I thought that was funny. I'm like, how the fuck you got rollerblades? I think you did tell me that too. That hey, yeah, I just borrowed these.
I stole them from that chick down there. see her on her ass crying with no shoes? These are hers.
Hey, were you on our first tour too?
No.
Slave to the Grind tour?
Slave to the Grind I was on only, but the one prior to that, I went out during my spring break at college. That was a good story. So my spring break at Marist, when they went out, they opened for Bon Jovi with their first album. I went out to the middle of the United States and I did a week with them. That was fun because I was still studying, trying to be a studious football playing college guy. So I go out for a week out with them and changed everything.
I got so many questions for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were out with Bon Jovi, so it was a nice clean cut tour.
Let me see how this is picking up. We're outside here. I want to see how the microphone is picking up. I'm going to take a break for a minute. We'll pick it up again. All right, picking it back up. So, on the Slave to the Grind tour, what is your what is the I guess fondest memory or craziest memory of that?
Wow. Fondest memory.
Yeah, what's the fondest memory? The thing that you really like, you think about it and you're like, man, that was awesome.
Making friends with Pantera, Dimebag and Vinnie Paul, because Vinnie Paul and I share a birthday, and him and his brother were just like, they were the greatest guys. I mean, you guys see it all over the internet, right? About how nice these guys were, but unless you actually met them, that was manifested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because these guys are from Texas and they don't talk shit. They are who they are. And they were just great human beings. And we got to be really good friends in the 9 months that we were out with them. And you know, the way that tragically ended for Dime after touring was just broke my heart. And then, you know, Vinnie Paul lost his life naturally a few years later. Just awful. But that was the culmination of understanding how friendships can be built on the road, like ours.
Right.
And it's long lasting. And it did come full circle on this last tour when they reunited without the boys to tribute them as they're touring. And I got in touch with a dear friend of mine, Grady Champion, who is Dime's tech and is also now working with Zach Wilde. And I got in touch with him, and he was gracious enough to bring me out several times to meet them. And the family met him, and he met my son. They never met my son because he wasn't born.
Right.
Because now I'm old as shit, and they got to meet my son, right?
Yeah.
And I got to meet the guys again. And Rex Brown gave me his number. We were chatting and hooked it all up. And to be backstage and see them again, the two guys, the original members, was really, that was endearing because it connected me to the past. You know, the most memorable moment.
Yeah.
That was great. Wildest moment? Is this rated R?
Well,
X?
I can,
PG?
I can edit it. You can say whatever you want to say.
Well, there's a lot of wild moments because on our days off, we would go out. You know, we would get that black tooth grin on and go out with the boys and the crew and Pantera and Skid Row and raise some hell. There's a lot of moments, man. I don't know where to start. In Flint, Michigan, you may have heard about this, but we decided to have a softball game between Pantera and Skid Row. And we went out into this park and brought the tour bus, which is probably not the smartest fucking thing to do.
But that was your transportation.
Right, because you don't bring a taxi, you bring a tour bus, which is stupid. Oh, what's that? Duh. So we're out there playing softball, and before you know it, 20 kids show up, 30 kids show up, 40, and within an hour, there's 500 plus people there, and here's Pantera and Skid Row playing softball. Some guys from each band were there, some weren't. Most of the crew played. But truth needs to be told, and it will go down this way in history, that Skid Row crew kicked Pantera's crew's ass in softball.
There you have it. I didn't even know about that. That's an awesome story. I didn't know about that, man.
It's truth. It's the way it happened.
That's the kind of cool ass shit that happens on the road. You know, I mean, come on.
There's cooler.
Okay, well, I know there's cooler.
Here's one.
Okay.
We're in Nashville, Tennessee, and we go out to houses of ill repute often, and we spend all our money in there. You know, get all liquored up and loosened up, and come back to the hotel, and something happened in the lobby, which we didn't exactly know what happened until it was done. But Dimebag attacked a seating chair in the lobby of this beautiful hotel with a knife, and he's fucking stabbing shit out of it, kicking the shit out of it, and before you know it, it's in tattered, it's fucking destroyed. Come to find out that it was walking towards him. Yeah, it was walking towards him, so he killed it, and it cost him like $4,000.
Oh man.
That happened. I'm serious. True story.
Wow.
Yep. What happened last night? Don't even know. Somebody beat up a chair in the lobby.
A lot of black tooth grins that night.
Way too many.
A lot of black tooth grins. Yeah. I actually met those guys. Speaking of how they were just salt of the earth guys.
Yeah.
True blue. Come on, have a good time.
Yep.
You go. Well, I met you in San Diego, and then I remember. I don't know if you remember, but I had my 1985 Trans Am loaded up. And then you go, hey, where are you heading after this? I said, I'm going down to Florida to meet some friends of mine on spring break. And you said, we got a day off tomorrow. We're getting jet skis up in Arizona if you want to catch that show.
On the lake.
I'll get you some backstage passes there, too. So I was like, I told my guitar player, Chris, we have to fucking do this. You have to do this. He's like, I got work tomorrow. My fiance is going to be pissed at me.
Who cares?
Exactly. I'm like, fuck that. We're going. So I'm like, yeah, man, we'll go there. The bus driver or the tour bus driver gave us directions to get there. Yep. We meet up with you there. That was the Mesa show. And the cool thing about the Mesa show,
here it comes. This is great.
That show, that song ended up on that Skid Row beside ourselves. Deliver the goods.
All right, but listen, man, we're gonna bring up a fucking guest star right now. And I gotta say that I have been waiting all my fucking life to share a stage with this man from Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm talking about Rob Halford from Judas Priest.
Rob Halford Halford came out and fucking killed it.
So we were up there on your day off. We missed the jet ski day, but you said you ended up breaking your toe.
I did. I was out there jet skiing with my cousin, Julie Rose, and a couple other people, and somehow I fucking fell off the jet ski because
That had to be Swirl Lake.
it might have been. Yeah, it was nice, but there was like big rocks on the shore.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like get on and off this jet ski, and I fucked up and whacked my toe really bad, and you know, being a big vagina, it hurt like hell. Anyways, I come to find out it was broke. So the next day I couldn't do much on the crew.
Yeah.
I was hobbling around, so I gave them everything I could, but I couldn't do much. But yeah, that was fun. I had no idea what the hell I was doing on them things. I still don't.
So that night, I don't even know where we were. It was kind of a blur, but we ended up where the tour buses were.
Yep.
Pantera's there partying, big barrels of Heineken and booze, and Dimebag just walks up. Hey man, what's up? Have yourself a beer, grab a beer, you know?
Yep.
And then
That's the way it was.
Yeah. And then the next day backstage, you just gave us like an all access pass. We're wandering all around. We're backstage.
Yep.
This limo pulls up. This older lady gets out a sequined gown on, and people are like, that's Rob Halford's mother. And I'm like, holy shit, so Halford's gonna be here again? Then another old Camaro gets up with a hatchback up with a Marshall half stack in it, and someone goes, that's Kerry King from Slayer.
Yep.
I'm like, holy shit, he's gonna be on here too?
Yep.
So that's what ended up happening. So that show, Rob Halford got on stage with Skid Row that night, because usually he just did it with Pantera, right?
Yeah, he was on with Skids that night.
Yeah, so he got on with Skid Row that night. Sebastian. So when you hear Sebastian on that, when you hear Sebastian on the album, if you're listening to that track saying, "Leave him here, he's okay, man. Leave him here," he's talking about Kerry King can stay up and do that song
Stay
with
right
it.
there, yep.
So when you're hearing that song, not only is it Rob Halford, you got Kerry King from Slayer in there doing the song too with Skid Row. So that's pretty awesome.
Hey, leave him here, man. Leave him here. He's all right, okay? You fucking didn't think we were going home yet, did you, people?
And that's when you had the broken toe. You're at the soundboard.
No, I was at the monitor board.
The monitor board, yeah, the monitor board. So me and Christian are walking around, my guitar player, and you're like, hey, come on up here. We're right at the soundboard, the monitor board, watching that show there. And so when that came out on the album, I'm like, holy shit, that's the show we were at.
That was it.
Rock and roll history.
And they also recorded it in the studio too, so they had two different versions out there. They did it without Rob Halford on the album, and then they have a live cut.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The live cut's the best though.
Yeah.
You see, I don't. You guys might have saw it out there in video land. Saturday Night Live.
Yes, I seen that one.
Oh.
Yeah,
Boy,
that's
they
on
killed
YouTube.
it.
That's on YouTube.
That was,
Yeah.
Oh, they were killing it.
Yeah.
That was so good. I don't think Saturday Night Live knew what they were gonna come up with that one. They just blew their faces off.
I mean, that's how it always was. I remember seeing Skid Row on Saturday Night Live. I think it was Monkey Business.
Yep.
And
they came back.
Fucking killed it.
And they did that song with Rob. It was fucking killer. He was on point, and that was when he was with Fight. Remember his band Fight?
Yeah, I love that band.
That band was
just
killer.
a little crazy.
They were good too. They played at the Chance here in Poughkeepsie.
I seen them at the Lost Horizon. We played shows at the Lost Horizon.
And
so
you got the two poles in the front, right in the stage.
Not anymore. They got rid of it.
Oh, amen.
Yeah, and it was just one pole. They had a one pole right there in the stage.
Like
that's what it was known
yeah, the
for.
lead singer's right here, and if you turn to your left,
Yeah,
pole.
yeah. Yep, but I gotta dig up some more pictures of the Vibe Tribe thing. And the cool thing about these interviews too is I want to show everyone how you kind of music brings everyone together. You kind of stay in contact with the ones that you're supposed to stay in contact with. This came full circle. I just got up on stage with his band again last night, jammed again. It was fucking awesome.
Here's a shameless self-promotion.
There you go, Sucker Punch. They do, it's just a really fun band. They let the people come up there and jam with them. There's a 10-year-old drummer that was just, I mean, he's just
Bagpiper.
awesome. Yeah. Bagpiper came up, did some AC/DC with him. I came up, did some Skid Row, and I'm looking forward to doing more of that. Same thing with his band Vibe Tribe back in the day. Are you guys ever gonna have a reunion or anything?
Don't know.
I seen something on Facebook about that where someone said it.
It's tough too because the TC's in Nashville and Chris, the bass player, is in Florida. Joe is right here in Poughkeepsie, but I got to tell you, we got to plug Joe and we should turn the people on to some new music. He's got a band called Swim the Current. Man, they're so good. Charts right now with their first release.
Oh, I have to check that out.
Yeah,
Swim the Current.
Swim the Current. With
check it out.
Joe Guerrieri.
So he was in Vibe Tribe.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, he's badass.
Do you have any of that music recorded?
Yep, a lot of it.
Cool. I'd like to hear some of that again.
A lot of it. Yeah.
That's been 30 years. Like I was telling him before we started this, it doesn't seem. I'm like that was over 30 years ago.
Old as dirt.
And God, man, I mean,
it's like playing handball with T-Rex.
It just doesn't seem that way. Who were your influences? I mean, okay, here's a question for you. How big of an influence was Rob on you?
Okay.
Growing up.
Kind of like the beacon. Like we went two different ways. In our younger years, I was athlete, sports.
Yeah.
And he was business music, but always music, right? It was always his sight was never set on anything else. He didn't have a plan B. Although he went to NYU and got a 4-year degree, he's quite bright. But he always had his plan was to be a musician.
Yeah.
He wanted to play music and reach the masses and hopefully make it big, which he did. Mine was never that. I was always like an athlete, wanted to play football and baseball, But somewhere along the line, he goes away to New Jersey, right? And juxtapose everything backward, tries out for Bon Jovi, didn't make it. They chose Tico instead. Happenstance. Snake talks to John, a drummer? Yeah, this kid from upstate tried out. So they bring Rob down. He plays 4 songs. Skid Row's born. Then they go hunting for a singer because Matt was good, but so they came hunting for a singer. So Rob was the first influence because he left his drums home, and I got home from college, and I'm like I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna figure this out, and it took a long time. It took a long time. AC/DC, Back in Black. That was my metronome. Couldn't afford to buy a metronome, so I just played to that in my headphones. So he was the first influence. Then listening to music, I aspired to play like Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers, Dave Abruzzese from Pearl Jam. Kind of an aggressive backbeat, with marginalized fills, but they were tasty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you listen to bass players, you're like, where's the groove and what do you want? So those two guys were the first ones, but it's always, always, always been John Bonham. Always. My brother,
he's like the nucleus. I mean, how can you not be influenced by that guy if you're a drummer?
The coolest riffs ever were developed by him, I think. And then, of course, my brother following him as a beacon. As a little brother, you want to aspire to do something like him, whether I'm doing my own thing or whatnot. But it was never to be a drummer. It was always to just play drums and have fun with it. And before you know it, as successful as I am in other walks of my life, the drumming was always there. And he was always there for me. One of the biggest things he said, which I can tell other young drummers, and you know this as well, is the double bass pedal, came out. Yeah. And everybody's like, oh man, I got a double bass pedal. You can't even play one pedal well and you're going to try fucking
Right.
around with two?
Right.
So my brother said this, as omnipotent as he was, he goes, if you can't play those beats with one pedal, fuck the other one. Don't need it. So he disconnected it on my kit, and he says, work with your one foot. Now, as good as I think I am, I'm still not that good because I'm learning every day, but I can do a lot of the beats with one foot. I don't need the double pedal. And I put that in there for embellishments and triplets and, you know, the big ballyhoo at the end.
And it's more smooth and consistent then because you're already fluent with the one foot.
So that was his first big thing for me. He said, timing. He says, you got to work on your timing. You know, it's not there yet. And we improved that, and now we have it down. Get rid of the double pedal, right? And don't overplay. If there's space in music, leave it there. It's there for a reason.
Exactly. The don't overplay. That was always my downfall in my younger years because I wanted to show everyone what I could do. And then once you go in the studio and have a good producer, he's like, no, get that shit out of there.
You push the talk back button and go, Joey, that's really good. I like the groove, but you want to take that Billy Sheehan shit out of there. Thank you.
Right, yeah. There's a time and a place for it, but, you know, few and far between. And what I learned, like I was learning some Rat songs, and it sounds like, oh, it's so basic. All he's doing is just riding the fucking E. But do that consistently in time, making it felt.
Michael Anthony.
Michael Anthony's another great example.
The king of the one string.
It's almost more difficult to do that and stay consistent.
It is.
And really be in the pocket and make that music be felt that way than it is to do all these scales.
And here's the plug for Joe. Last night's show, you were on point.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Locked right in. Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, that was fun.
More like Fluffernutter.
Fluffernutter. Yeah, guys, stuck right in. Nice and
because
thick.
I got to lose 10 pounds.
Oh, all right. I thought you were saying because it was thick and tight.
Oh, one more influence. I got to say this because it's a cool story. I'm on tour with Metallica and the Cult. I'm doing t-shirt merchandising for the Cult on the Sonic Temple tour. So they were out with Metallica on And Justice for All. Right, so that was my first big tour. And I got drum lessons from Matt Sorum.
Nice.
Who was the drummer for the Cult. He worked with me heavy on timing because if anybody knows Matt Sorum, the way he plays drums, he was the drummer on several, one Cult album live. He didn't play on the album, but he played live. And then I think he played the second album that they did together. But then he was on Guns N' Roses for years.
Yeah.
After Steven Adler had to step away. He played for
killer
years
drummer.
with them. November
And
Rain.
he was in Velvet Revolver also.
That's right. And we covered Slither.
Yeah, I did Slither.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that one with you guys one of these times too.
You're on.
So I'm going to be doing more shows with these guys too. That's what's cool about just having musician friends. And he's in a really fun band, that band Sucker Punch. If you're in the upstate New York area, Poughkeepsie area, Newburgh, this part of town, keep an eye out for them and go check them out. They're really fun. I'm going to be popping back down here over the summer and do more. If you're ever out Arizona way, man, definitely stop up there.
Bring in my sticks.
Yeah, bring your sticks. And like he said to me, which means a lot. He says, "Hey, man, our stage is your stage."
Always.
And when you kind of, it's like that, like you said about the Abbotts, Dimebag Darrell and Vinny Abbott, man. You become friends, and it's like your family, your brothers. You're like, yeah, come on up, man, have a blast.
And live shows were so much fun with them because at the end of the Skid Row night, they would always do a jam.
Yes.
Right? And they would do Cold Gin or something crazy, and the Pantera would come on stage and play with them, and they would do one or two songs together as an encore, and the crowd would freak out. There's pictures online, look these up, of Cold Gin with Pantera and Dimebag and Rex, and everybody is dressed up like Kiss with Coors Light beer, Coors Light cardboard. You ever see him?
I've seen that.
He has them on his legs.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Fucking hysterical.
Yep.
We were not expecting. He had his hair up like Gene Simmons. He's spitting ketchup.
Yep, I've seen that. I don't know where I've seen it, but I've seen the video.
It was so good, man.
It might still be on there. I just haven't searched for it in a while. That reminds me of another thing too. So he got me some backstage passes for Skid Row out in that area. Then I went to Florida, and then he said, "Hey, when we get back to upstate New York, I'll hook you up again." So the Albany show comes up. And his band Vibe Tribe, you guys did an after party
at Saratoga Winners.
Yes.
Remember that place?
And Pantera got up on stage with you guys and did Seek and Destroy from what I remember.
Yep, Seek and Destroy, and they did they did another one. They did two. Because Dime played Joe's guitar, And also Dean Piaquadio had a guitar there, and he played Dean's guitar.
Do you have any video of that?
I wish I did.
See, this was before a time when everyone had a camcorder that fit in their pocket.
I have pictures somewhere.
Got to dig those up, because when I make this, I'd like to show people that.
That'd be great.
That's cool. But I mean, this again, for me, it was over 30 years ago. So Pantera is no longer with us, unfortunately. Skid Row has disbanded, went through their thing. So this was a time when it was so awesome, so fucking magical, man. Metal was alive and well. And just to be in the crowd and see my buddy's band up there and Pantera getting up on stage with them, playing Metallica songs, it was really cool. And now it's coming full circle. We're back here again. And just last week, Rob got up and played with you guys, right?
He did, yep. Last week we did a little show in Marlboro at a place called The Garage. And the owners, Todd DiOrio and Joe Gennaro, were very gracious in letting us do whatever we wanted within reason.
Yeah. Kind
of messed up that place. It was great. Played outside. But Rob showed up and he played Big Guns and Piece of Me with us.
So cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what is Rob doing these days now that he's not in Skid Row anymore?
He's taking up space.
He's
eating up oxygen.
He definitely has to be in the music in business still.
Super busy. So right now he's got a 27-year entity called Soul System, and it's a 15-piece Motown funk band that is just the baddest band in the land, man. So good. He's been doing that about 27 years, and although it's a cover band, he still gets to do some Skid Row songs with it.
Yeah.
And he does just phenomenal funk music and anything that corporations and weddings and whatever want. Besides that, he's going to be playing June 21st with some members of 4x8.
Okay.
Remember that band they had just a few years ago?
Yeah.
This is Todd Howarth. The late John Regan, Skinny Regan, who played with Peter Frampton.
Okay.
He passed away, but he was in the band as a bass player. Pat Gasparini on guitar. Pat's a great singer-songwriter locally here. He'll be there, and Todd's coming in from San Diego to play, so they're going to do some 4x8 songs in honor of John for that day on June 21st. So that'll be local. That's here in the Hudson Valley. So if anybody's watching this from the Hudson Valley, they should go. It's in there's a park. I don't even know the name of it, but it's pretty big. There's like 5 bands. So he's doing that, and he recently went out to LA and shot a couple videos with Sebastian.
I seen that, man. At first I thought he was in the band with him. I'm like, this is awesome.
No.
Rob and Sebastian's teaming up.
I know. They're still friendly, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He did something called What Have I Got to Lose?
Yes.
That's the one video where they're driving down the highway in the car.
What have I got to lose? What have I got to save? Still there is no difference to me. It's all the same.
We're in that one. And there's a second video which just came out like a week or two ago. The precursor to Sebastian releasing his album, which either has happened or is going to happen. And Rob played on that video. You can see him playing drums.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And he may or may not sit in and play with them, when they're around. That they have that kind of relationship, where they pop in.
I just jammed with Sebastian up at Rock Camp. I did Rock Camp in Hollywood.
Awesome.
And I played Sweet Little Sister with Sebastian. And me and Sebastian were shooting the shit on stage. They had to kind of just, hey, you guys got to play now. you're from upstate New York, so you know Rob? And I said, well, I don't know Rob personally, but I know Alan. Me and Alan did, and he's like, oh, you know Alan? So then he didn't get to tell me this, so that's got me figuring out what it was, because he goes, hey, I got a funny story to tell you about Alan. So it must be a road story.
Probably.
And then
was that the one in fucking in Ohio about the tour bus?
I don't know, but then they said, hey, you got to plug in, get going. And he goes, I'll tell you about it later. And then later never came. Everyone came in there, so
there's two stories.
Well, okay, let's hear it.
Want me to string it?
Yeah.
Let's string it.
Yeah.
So the one story is, prior to going out with them on Slave to the Grind, I was in college, and I went out and did a couple shows with them for my spring break with Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
And they said at the end of the show, they're getting their tour bus, and they wanted me to go out front and clear the parking lot, make sure that the tour bus could get through, right? Which was bullshit, because they don't need that, because as soon as you start moving the bus, everybody moves anyway.
Yeah.
So there I am out in front of the bus, jogging through the parking lot, because I'm a gung-ho football player, and I'm moving people out of the way and stopping cars, and they made me run all the way around the building as they chased me. And I'm like, I'm not moving fucking anybody. I turn around and look behind me, and the whole band is in that big window, laughing their asses off, pointing at me, like, you asshole. So I come back to the tour bus, and they open up the door, and they're clapping and laughing, and they threw me a tour shirt. That's how I earned it, by getting fucked over. That's the one story. The second story is great. We're on tour, Slave to the Grind, and we're in Montreal, right? And they finished the show. They're going to do an encore. They're going to do two. No, it was almost the end of the show. And Rob, I'm behind Rob, and Rob is in front of his monitor system, and then his drum kit. So I'm backstage. All of a sudden, my brother comes backstage, and he hands me the sticks. He goes, "You're on," and I'm like, "I'm on." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "What song?" He goes, "What do you call it?" Train kept rolling, Aerosmith. I go, "Give me those fucking sticks." And I run back up to the stage. Now, we look alike, right?
Right.
Long hair.
Yeah.
We're both wearing black. Had a black shirt on.
Yeah.
So nobody in the audience knew.
Right.
Like, there's just 11,000, 12,000 people out there, maybe. I jump up on stage, and I'm getting comfortable, getting ready. Rob, I won't bust on my brother's ass, but he plays fucking weird, right? He's got shit all up and angled, and I'm like, man, I gotta move some shit. But he yells from the side, just play. I'm like, all right, just play. So Sebastian turns around, and he sees me up there, and he goes, oh, like this, no confidence. And I said to him, play the fucking song. And he goes, all right, motherfuckers, you want this train to keep rolling? And off we go, right? Of the song where it breaks down, right? I run off, jump off stage. Rob jumps back on and finishes the song.
Uh-huh.
No one out in the world knew he and I changed places except Sebastian and the rest of the band, right?
Yeah.
They all gave me a high five after. Said I did a really good job. Thank you. And Rob comes back and he goes, motherfucker, you played that thing so fucking fast you almost killed me. And I said, asshole, you're the pro. Just keep up.
Did the speed metal version of it. I remember you telling me that story, and that's funny. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
But cool.
That was, for me, that was like, holy shit. I'm looking around at this Coliseum buried with people. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. That was in Montreal, you said?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was badass. There's two cool stories. One of them had to be the Sebastian was going to tell you about. Either that or 3 a.m. in the morning, knocks on my door, fucking keeps knocking on my door. I wake up, I'm like, yeah, what do you want? Let's go to Denny's, man. I'm hungry. I'm like, fuck, dude, it's 3 a.m. Come on, man, let's go to Denny's. I fucking pay you, man. Let's go. I'm like, fuck, all right. So I got dressed. We go down to Denny's. Now, his security guard is nowhere around. This shit's, you'd never do that, right? At this point, when you're being
Slave to the Grind tour, man.
Yeah.
Skid Row was like Elvis. It was huge. It sold out everywhere.
People camping out trying to get his autograph, and
Yeah.
you don't know if there's a dummy out there or not. So me, him, and a couple other dudes, his hairdresser friend Michael, and a couple other dudes, we go to Denny's. Not 30 minutes later, do you remember Big Val Pachekas?
No.
Big Val. He was also the Pantera's security guard.
No.
Big fucker. He was I think he was an offensive or defensive tackle for University of Arizona.
Okay.
Big jack dude, really nice guy, but you don't want to fuck with him on any day. So we're eating, and he shows up. He's out of breath, right? He's like, he looks at Sebastian. He goes, don't fucking ever do that again, man. Ever. You got to tell me where you're going. Although I get my ass chewed out and fired. And Sebastian's just eating, and he goes, it's really good, man. You want some? So Val goes, yeah, move over, motherfucker. And he sits down and starts eating it. That was it.
Sebastian in
3 a.m.
true Sebastian form.
True form. Fuck the world.
That's what I like about him. He never changes. He's like, this is me.
Real.
Like it or fucking hate it. If I annoy you, big deal, whatever. He's just a cool dude,
He
too.
doesn't owe anybody anything, right? It's,
Right.
It's his world. He lives in it, too.
I love his sense of humor, too. Even before he got up on stage and was jamming, just the way he was talking. He's entertaining. He's an entertainer. It's just in his blood.
Honestly, he's one of the best frontmen ever to hit the stage.
Oh,
you know,
for
besides Steven Tyler and Robert Plant and Axl in his prime. You know, even Vince Neil when he was in his prime, those guys were great frontmen.
Yeah.
But Sebastian, when he would hit his notes, I don't know, man. I haven't seen anybody better yet.
No, I mean, come on. Even like when they got Lizzie Hale out there doing the stuff with
She's
him right
good.
now. She's killer.
Woo.
When I watched that video that you put up of Quicksand Jesus, one of my favorite songs. And I mean, there's some killer vocal parts in there. And she's nailing them. Doing Sebastian Bach's vocals
Instead of doing her own.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's doing an amazing job, but
Beautiful.
he created that shit. His voice is an instrument.
She caught the melting sky. It burned, but still the winter passes by and by to the other side. It's more parade of wind that blows through trees and winds and wears the seasons children.
And that's what I loved about Skid Row from the beginning, man. I loved all the energy that they had.
So good.
All the ingredients that they had together, man. Again, you take one of them out, it's not Skid Row. It's not Skid Row anymore because those ingredients.
It's not that chemistry.
Right, and a perfect example is like when I was getting up there and I was learning Sweet Little Sister, and Rachel Bolan does some cool little tricky parts in there that I wasn't really getting in the mix, so I wanted to see a live version of it. So I'm looking for live versions of Skid Row doing Sweet Little Sister, and I came across the one when they were opening up for Bon Jovi at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands.
MetLife, yep.
And
Huge
fucking
show.
the energy they had there. And I know they just got signed and it was up and coming and they were just like, yeah, we made it. That's part of it. The other part is they just had it. Those 5 people together on stage, it just worked that way, man. And I love the stuff that they did after. Like I think Rachel Bolan's a great songwriter, great bass player, huge influence on me. His lyrics are awesome. I love what they did with Solinger. I love what they did with other stuff. But those first 3 albums, even Subhuman Race, I love Subhuman Race.
The album that didn't get enough.
Yeah.
That should have been played out. It was so fucking good, man. So good.
I seen them on that tour too. I seen them on all their tours with Sebastian. that was just a few that they did there, but it was at the Limelight in New York City during the CMJ Festival, the College Music Journal Festival. At that time, I was in Joey Belladonna's solo project. After he parted ways with Anthrax, I was the bass player for Joey Belladonna. We were down there doing some shows, so we had this pass that got us in all the events. And I seen Skid Row was playing the Limelight. I'm fucking there. Went there, and it was insane. It was cool as fuck. Rachel Bolan had his hair cut at that time.
Yep.
Changes were coming out. Grunge was kind of taking over. But that album, I had already had it too, and I played it I love every song on that album too.
That was good.
It was at a weird time it came where all of a sudden you guys aren't cool anymore. This new wave of music's
Hootie
coming
and the
in.
Blowfish.
Yeah,
Right,
it was all this weird stuff going in with record companies and the music industry kind of just pushing shit on the back burner.
Yeah, that album, Subhuman Race, was so good.
Yeah,
so fucking good. So well written, from music to lyrics to melodies, and it was heavy. It was their shit. It was New Jersey. Fuck you. This is what we do.
Yeah, it was Skid Row with those 5 guys.
And if that album had come out a year earlier or 6 months earlier, prior to Hootie and the Blowfish and all that other shit, that I'm sorry, I don't like it. Many people do or don't. That album would have been huge.
Yeah.
Huge, because it was in the vein.
Yep.
You know, it was right in the vein. Mainline. It was fantastic.
Super cool.
Damn it.
Skid Row is still one of my all-time favorite bands, just because, in my opinion, my personal opinion, they have what it takes to be a rock and roll band. You know, there's no weak link in that band.
Yeah.
Scotty, Hill, Dave, Rachel, Sebastian, Rob, they're all top-notch, and it all works together, you know? And so that's
you know what
cool.
it is? It's such a volatile chemistry that eventually it blew up. But it was so volatile, you couldn't help but watch and find out what's next,
Yeah,
right?
what's going
Like a
on
live
next.
show.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are they going to do next?
Yeah.
Right? And that was the beauty of it. That was the greatest part of their live show.
Rock
Especially
and roll.
live. Because we wouldn't know. I mean, we'd have a set list live and follow it, and I had curtain calls. I had to pull those huge curtains, you know, the Slave to the Grind curtain, all that back.
Yep.
But you never knew. Like, they could stray off that and just fucking cover some song or do a song from a deep cut in the album that wasn't on for that night. Like, they'd have a set list, right?
Yeah.
And they would go out of nowhere, just pull Quicksand Jesus on, or Iron Will, or no, not Iron Will, there's a couple of deeper tracks that would come out, and they'd throw it in.
I think I was talking to you on tour that one time, because one of my favorite songs that they've ever done is In a Darkened Room.
Oh, so
and
good.
I think you told me they only did it a couple times, and it was over in Europe or something.
Yep.
They just pulled it out one time.
It's beautiful.
And that song, again, that's another one where it's just like, oh my God, what an amazing song.
If you listen to that song,
and I
there's so
never
much
heard him
emotion.
do it live.
Oh,
Yeah, the emotion. And again, now that to me, I love the composition, I love the musicianship, but Sebastian's vocals on that, you can hear
Soaring.
every word, every meaning, every word that the meaning holds, he's bringing the emotion through with his vocals.
In a darkened room, beyond the reach of God's faith, lies the wounded, the shattered remains of love betrayed. And
You know what's beautifully odd about that is that those are Rachel's lyrics,
Yep.
right? And Rachel knows what he's writing and what he wants to feel when he writes. And then Sebastian took that vehicle and fucking turned it into a jet,
Yeah,
and they soared. And that's what's missing. That's what's missing,
yeah.
right? That we need that again out there. We need that again in rock and roll.
Yeah, in all bands, that's what it is.
We got
It's
too
such-
much. We got too much fucking digital shit at our fingertips, and we're pushing buttons, and we're auto correcting. Fuck that. You know, don't autocorrect. Sing it or don't sing it.
Yeah, it's got to be raw rock and roll. Get the emotion out there, raw emotion.
How many
Music
times-
is an energy.
When you track your bass, right?
Yeah.
You track one line, stop, and see how it sounds. Fuck that. You
No.
play the whole song,
Yeah.
listen to it.
Yeah.
Right? Sucks. I'm gonna do it again.
Right.
Play the whole song again. Okay, I got that. The bridge is a little funky. Okay, can you punch the bridge in? Probably. And have we done it? I've done it. Yeah. But you want to fucking lay it down.
Right, and even the mistakes, and if it's not a huge mistake, it's a little string them up, or like even, so there's a lot of these isolated bass tracks that I find when I'm learning now, and there's so many fuck-ups on them. Yeah, I could hear all these ghost notes and like little like fret buzzes.
Did you ever hear the fuck up in the Led Zeppelin song?
What one?
It's a keyboard. Da 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 da. All of my love.
Okay.
If you listen to the the keyboard solo section.
Yeah.
He comes down the keys and he hits 2 notes. Beep. And you'll hear it. And they left it in there.
Because the rest of the song was probably working. They're like, you know what? That's so minuscule.
Yeah.
It's staying.
And here's a story. I wish Rob was here to do this interview, but I'll tell the story. I believe it's Iron Will, and at the end of Iron Will, he's riffing. He's fucking riffing, rolling around the drums, riffing on time, weird fills as everything's going. And at the end of it, he actually loses a stick and plays the rest of the song with 1 stick. And if you listen closely, they leave in the track Snake laughing his ass off because he fucking did it with 1 stick, and they left it in the album. You got to go listen to it.
And now that's part of the song.
That's right.
And it
So
makes it.
You guys got to go listen
there.
to it now. I think it's Iron Will at the end, the last minute, last minute song. You'll hear him laugh.
Cool. Well, there you have it, folks. We're going to kind of cut this off. And yeah, this is like where I was already saying about music connecting everybody. And this guy right here, man, he's a man of integrity, a man of his word. I remember from a very young age, my mother would always say, if you say you're going to do something, do it. That's how he is. That's how we hooked up with Vibe Tribe. That's how we hooked up on the road. He got me backstage passes. His brother's the same way. The Affuso brothers, men of integrity. That's getting more and more rare these days. And everybody, you know, just try to be your best self at all times. And keep on bringing the music and creating fun times. If you're in a band, let people get on stage like he does. It means a lot to the other people. It makes them feel like they're a part of it. Yep. And thank you, Alan, for this interview. I appreciate it. Good seeing you again, bro. And I'll be editing this and giving you guys some more footage and some more interviews too. I got Stevie Nicks' bass player. I'm going to be doing Al Ortiz. I spoke with him. He said he'd be doing something like this. I'd like to connect with Joey Belladonna again. I know he's kind of really busy right now. He's got some stuff going on. There's a new band out of Rochester up and coming called Wicked that I'm going to be doing stuff with. So I got a lot of cool shit. Subscribe to the channel and we'll keep on bringing you more. So have a great day and I'll talk to you later. You going to be doing any more Skid Row songs?
Yes, and you're playing them.
Awesome. What ones are they?
Probably Monkey Business.
Got it down. I already know that one. I got a video.
And Get the Fuck Out.
Oh, there's one I haven't learned. That'd be a cool one, yeah.
This party's over. Get the fuck out. Like this video's almost over.
Yes, exactly. Almost time to go. But I guess we can wrap it up with that.
So this interview's over. Get
the fuck out. See you later, and have a good day, everyone. Kick ass. Keep bringing music into your life, no matter what it is. It brings everybody together, and it really is a powerful force when used the right way. It can have its toxic parts of it, but, you know, overcome that, and it will really bring everyone together, and it's a powerful energy that everyone should have in their life.
Great.
Talk to you later.
Peace.
Have a good one.